Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Without Limit. I'm Julia, your host for today. If you're new here, let me tell you, we upload new English learning episodes every single week to help you speak English more confidently and naturally in real life. In today's masterclass, you're going to take your English fluency to the next level, from B1 to B2. Together, we'll explore how to build your daily life vocabulary, connect ideas smoothly, and sound more fluent and natural in every conversation. This lesson will help you improve your listening, speaking, and thinking in English at the same time. You'll learn how to use more advanced expressions, transition words, and daily conversation phrases that real English speakers use without even thinking. We'll go through real-life examples, the kind of English you need when you're talking about your day, describing your plans, sharing your opinions, or telling a story naturally and clearly. And through guided practice, you'll start to think in English rather than translating every word from your native language. By the end of this lesson, you'll feel more confident expressing your thoughts clearly and smoothly, and you'll notice how your vocabulary begins to grow naturally as you listen and speak along. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to English Without Limit and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming English learning sessions. Now, take a deep breath, relax, and get ready to speak and understand English more confidently than ever. Let's begin. Hello again. I'm so glad you're here today. Ready to take another big step in your English learning journey? Every time you listen, repeat, and practice along with these lessons, you're training your mind to think in English a little faster and your tongue to speak it a little smoother. That's how fluency grows, one gentle, consistent practice at a time. Now, at the B1, B2 level, your English is no longer basic. You already understand most conversations. You can express your ideas, and you can follow along in movies or podcasts. But the real challenge at this stage is sound and flow, the ability to speak naturally, with rhythm, confidence, and vocabulary that fits everyday moments. So, today, I want you to imagine that you and I are sitting in a quiet cafe, just having a natural English conversation. You're relaxed, not overthinking, and you're letting English come out naturally. That's the mindset we'll keep throughout this masterclass. Let's begin with a simple thought. Fluency is not about speaking fast. It's about speaking smoothly. Many learners try to rush their words, thinking speed equals fluency. But true fluency is comfort, not pressure. When you speak calmly, your mind has time to choose the right words, connect sentences, and express emotions more clearly. So let's practice a short shadowing exercise together. Listen and repeat softly after me, focusing on rhythm and tone. I wake up early every morning. I stretch my body. I take a deep breath and start my day feeling fresh and positive. Try saying it again, but this time link the sounds naturally. I wake up early every morning. I stretch my body and take a deep breath and start my day feeling fresh and positive. Do you feel how the words begin to flow like music? That's the power of connection and rhythm. Now, let's talk about vocabulary, because vocabulary is the heart of your fluency. But you don't need to memorize thousands of words. You just need to use the words you already know in different ways, in real context, in daily life. For example, take the word make. It's simple, right? But at the B1, B2 level, you should be using it in natural phrases like make time, make friends, make progress, make sense, and make an effort. Each of these has a slightly different meaning, and using them automatically makes your English sound more natural. Let's practice together. I'm trying to make time for exercise. It takes effort to make progress in English. Your explanation really makes sense. Excellent. Now, don't just repeat. Imagine you're saying it to a friend in real life. That's how vocabulary becomes memory. Now, let's go a little deeper. At this level, your goal is to connect sentences and expand your thoughts smoothly. Instead of short answers like, I like coffee, try saying, I like coffee because it helps me focus in the morning, and I love the smell when it's freshly brewed. Notice how that longer version gives more life and rhythm to your sentence. Practice this with me. I'm tired. Now expand it. I'm tired because I didn't sleep well last night, and I have a busy day ahead, so I need some energy. That's how fluent speakers think, in connected ideas, not isolated words. Let's make this real. Imagine you're talking to a friend who asks, "How's your day going?" Don't just say, "Good," that's too short. You can say, "It's going well. I had a slow morning, but I'm feeling better now that I've had my coffee." Or, "It's been a bit stressful, but I'm trying to stay positive and focus on one thing at a time." These responses sound alive and natural. They show emotion, detail, and confidence. Now, one powerful technique to reach the B2 level is to listen for chunks, short word groups that always go together. For example, a bit tired. Pretty good. Kind of busy. In a hurry. At the moment. These are small pieces of natural English. You don't have to translate them, just absorb and use them naturally. Let's do a short exercise with chunks. Repeat slowly after me. I'm a bit tired today. I'm kind of busy right now. I'm in a hurry. Can we talk later? At the moment, I'm focusing on my studies. Excellent! That's how you train your brain to think in patterns, not single words. Fluency is built through sound and repetition, not through memorizing grammar rules. You already know most of the rules. Now it's time to let go and use them naturally. Remember, mistakes are part of fluency. Every fluent speaker once sounded unsure. What matters is that you keep talking. Let's take another real example from daily life. Imagine you're at work or studying and someone asks, "How's your project going?" Instead of saying, "It's okay," try expanding. "It's going well, but it's taking more time than I expected." Or, "I'm making progress, but I still have a few things to finish." These small phrases, making progress, taking more time than I expected, are perfect B1, B2 level vocabulary. Now, let's turn this into a short speaking practice. I'll describe a situation, and you try to answer naturally. You're talking to your friend about your weekend plans. You can say, "I'm planning to go hiking this weekend because I need some fresh air." Or, "I might stay home and relax. It's been a busy week." That's how natural English sounds: flexible, emotional, personal. Let's go again. Imagine you're at a cafe and your friend asks, "What are you working on these days?" You might say, "I'm working on improving my English. I've been listening to lessons every morning." Or, "I've started reading English books to build my vocabulary." Each of these sentences shows confidence and self-awareness, perfect traits of a B1, B2 speaker. Now, pause for a second and reflect. How do you feel when you speak English? Do you sometimes worry about sounding wrong or slow? It's okay. That's a normal stage in learning. Every speaker goes through it. But remember this: confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from using what you already know again and again until it becomes effortless. So today, as you listen to this English Without Limits masterclass, repeat aloud, speak slowly, and enjoy the sound of your own English. The more you use your voice, the more fluent you'll become. Fluency also grows when you start noticing the way native speakers connect their ideas in conversation. They don't just throw random sentences, they use connecting words like actually, in fact, you know, by the way, to be honest, so, and anyway. These small connectors make your English sound natural and fluent, almost musical. Let's practice them naturally. I'll give you examples. Just listen first, then repeat softly after me. Actually, I didn't expect the weather to be so cold today. In fact, it started raining just as I left home. By the way, have you finished your project? To be honest, I wasn't very productive yesterday. Anyway, let's talk about something else. These are small words, but they give your English personality and flow. Now, imagine you're in a casual chat with a friend. You can say, actually, I was just about to call you. Or, to be honest, I'm a bit tired today. Notice how these connecting words help you express emotion. They make your speech sound like real communication, not a textbook. Let's move into pronunciation and rhythm for a moment. At this level, pronunciation isn't about perfection. It's about clarity and confidence. You don't need a perfect accent to sound fluent. You just need to use intonation, the rise and fall of your voice that gives emotion and rhythm to your sentences. For example, try saying this with a gentle rise and fall. I didn't have time to cook, so I ordered some food. Feel how your tone moves. It's calm. It's natural. It carries emotion. Now say it again with a smile in your voice. I didn't have time to cook, so I ordered some food. Do you hear how it sounds more relaxed? That's natural English. Let's shadow a few short lines for pronunciation rhythm practice. Repeat softly after me. I woke up late today, but I still made it on time. I was planning to go out, but it started raining. I'm learning English every day, little by little. I feel more confident when I speak slowly. Beautiful. This kind of practice helps your brain connect English words to emotions, not just grammar. Now let's talk about one of the biggest secrets of reaching the B2 level, using description and detail. At the intermediate stage, many learners use short, direct answers like, it's nice, it's good, or I like it. But fluent English speakers add color and detail to what they say. Instead of saying, it's nice, you can say, it's really nice. I love the way it makes me feel relaxed. Instead of, I like music, say, I like listening to calm music in the evening because it helps me unwind after a long day. See how the second version sounds more alive and fluent? That's how you bring English to life. Let's practice expanding short sentences together. I'll say the short one first, and you try the expanded version after me. I'm tired. I'm tired because I've been working all day and my brain needs a rest. The movie was good. The movie was good. It had an interesting story and the actors were amazing. I like coffee. I like coffee because the smell wakes me up and it feels like a small treat every morning. That's fluency, building connection and emotion in your speech. Now let's add adverbs and adjectives that fit naturally in daily conversations. At the B1, B2 level, you should start using words like really, quite, absolutely, totally, extremely, a bit, and kind of to make your English sound softer and more expressive. Let's practice a few. Repeat after me. I'm really happy with my progress. I'm quite tired today, but it's okay. I absolutely love this song. I totally forgot about the meeting. I'm a bit nervous before presentations. I'm kind of excited about my trip. See how natural and emotional they sound? Each word adds personality and tone. Now try building a mini conversation in your mind. Someone asks, "How are you?" You can say, "I'm doing pretty well, just a bit tired after work." Or, "I'm absolutely great. I just finished a big project and I feel proud." Notice how your response becomes full and alive, not robotic. Let's pause here and reflect on something important. Your listening awareness, your fluency, isn't only about speaking. It's about hearing English in real life and noticing patterns, rhythm, and sound connections. When you listen to movies or podcasts, don't try to understand every single word. Focus on chunks of meaning, emotion, and tone. For example, when you hear, "You know what I mean?" it's not just words, it's connection. When you hear, "It's kind of funny," it's not just vocabulary, it's tone and attitude. When you start noticing those details, you begin to feel English rather than just understand it. Let's take a listening style practice moment. I'll say a few sentences and you just focus on their rhythm and tone. Don't worry about every word. It's been a long week, but I'm happy it's finally Friday. I've been trying to eat healthier lately and it feels great. You know, sometimes I just need a little quiet time to recharge. To be honest, I didn't expect that conversation to go so well. Now say them back slowly, one at a time, copying my rhythm as closely as you can. This kind of slow shadowing is one of the most powerful tools for improving your listening and pronunciation together. Let's move into something even more practical, everyday vocabulary upgrades. For example, instead of saying very good, say excellent, great, or wonderful. Instead of very bad, say terrible, awful, or horrible. Instead of very big, say huge, enormous, or massive. Instead of very small, say tiny, little, or mini. Let's turn it into a short repeat after me session. That meal was excellent. The traffic today was terrible. Her house is enormous. This phone is tiny, but it works perfectly. Good. Using these alternatives helps you sound more advanced and less repetitive. At this level, your focus should be on natural variation. Don't repeat the same adjective every time. Try saying, "It was an amazing experience." "It was a beautiful day." "It was a peaceful evening." "It was a stressful week, but I survived." Each phrase expresses a different emotion, and that's what real English is all about. Fluency is emotional. It's not just mechanical. When you speak, imagine you're painting with your words. Each phrase adds a little color to your story. When you say, "It was a peaceful morning," the listener can feel it. When you say, "I was completely exhausted," they can imagine your tired face. When you say, "I felt so proud," they understand your heart. So the next time you speak English, focus less on correctness and more on connection. Speak like you're telling a small story. Instead of, "I went to the park," try, "I went to the park yesterday and it was so quiet. I sat under a tree and listened to the wind." See how one simple line becomes a beautiful natural description? That's the B2 mindset. And remember, every sentence you speak is a chance to grow. The more you describe your feelings, experiences, and opinions, the more your vocabulary naturally expands. You don't need to memorize. You just need to live the language through your voice. Now, let's practice something that will make your English sound much more natural: linking and reduction. These are small pronunciation habits that native speakers use all the time without even realizing it. They connect words together so that speech flows like a single stream, not as separate blocks. For example, "I want to" becomes "I wanna." "What do you think about that?" becomes "What do you think?" "Going to" becomes "gonna." "Let me" becomes "let me." You don't have to use these in every sentence, but recognizing them helps you understand fast English. Using them occasionally makes your speech sound relaxed and natural. Let's practice slowly. Repeat after me. "I want to go for a walk." "What do you think about that?" "I'm gonna call her later." "Let me check my schedule." Don't force the sound, just let it flow gently. Now try making your own sentences using these natural patterns. "I'm going to start reading more English books." "Let me tell you what happened yesterday." This way, you practice not only pronunciation, but also fluency and confidence together. Another key to advancing to the B2 level is to think in English, not translate word by word from your native language. Translating slows your brain down and blocks your natural rhythm. So how do you stop translating? By using mental images and situations. When you think of the word coffee, imagine the smell, the cup, the warmth. Don't think of the translation in your language. When you think of rain, imagine drops, clouds, umbrellas, not the word in your language. That's how children learn, through senses, not translation. Let's do a short practice together. I'll say a few words, and as you listen, imagine them clearly in your mind without translating. Ocean. Morning. Bus stop. Laughter. Notebook. Rainy day. Good. Your brain just learned English visually, emotionally, naturally. This simple exercise helps you feel English instead of studying it mechanically. Now, at this stage, you should also start building your ability to discuss ideas and express opinions, not just describe daily activities. This is what separates the B1 learner from the confident B2 speaker. For example, instead of saying, "I like movies," you can say, "I like movies because they help me relax and sometimes inspire me." Or, "I prefer comedies because they make me laugh after a long day." Let's take another example. Someone asks, "Do you like living in your city?" Instead of just saying, "Yes, I do," you can say, "Yes, I really like it. It's busy, but it has great restaurants and friendly people. Or, if you want to give a balanced answer, say, I like it in some ways. The food is amazing, but the traffic can be stressful. That's a B2 level response. Natural, realistic, and expressive. Let's do a small exercise together. I'll ask a few questions, and you try to answer aloud in full sentences, giving reasons and examples. What's your favorite season of the year? You could say, I love spring because the weather is pleasant and everything feels fresh and alive. Or, I enjoy winter because I can stay cozy indoors and drink hot chocolate. Next question, what's something you've learned recently? You might say, recently I've learned how to manage my time better. Or, I've started practicing English every day and I can already feel the difference. And one more question, what kind of music do you enjoy? You could answer, I usually listen to calm acoustic music because it helps me focus while studying. Or, I enjoy upbeat music. It gives me energy in the morning. When you answer with details, your English becomes not only more fluent, but also more interesting. People love to listen to speakers who share small personal experiences. So don't be afraid to talk about yourself. That's what makes conversations real. Let's move toward improving your sentence connection skills, another sign of advanced English. Connecting sentences is like connecting thoughts smoothly. You can use linking phrases such as because, although, even though, so, since, while, and however. Let's practice these in context. I wanted to go out, but it was raining. Even though I was tired, I finished my work. Since it was sunny, we decided to go for a walk. I enjoyed the movie because it was funny and well written. I stayed home, however, because I wasn't feeling well. Now try saying your own sentences using these connectors. For example, I'm learning English because I want to travel more. Even though it's difficult, I'm not giving up. I'm staying home today because I need some rest. That's perfect. Every time you use these connectors naturally, you build sentence fluency. Let's do a gentle shadowing practice. Speak with me at a slow, calm rhythm. I've been learning English for a few years, and I can finally see how much I've improved. Sometimes I forget words, but I keep talking because practice is more important than perfection. Even though I make mistakes, I feel proud of my progress. That's how you train your thinking flow. You're not stopping between words. You're letting thoughts continue naturally. Now let's talk a bit about mindset. Many learners at the B1 level feel stuck. They understand a lot, but feel nervous when speaking. The reason isn't knowledge, it's hesitation. Hesitation happens when your brain doubts your ability to express ideas quickly. But the cure is simple. Practice output every day. You can listen for hours, but until you speak, your fluency will not grow. So here's a practical exercise you can do daily. The 1-minute talk. Choose any topic, your morning routine, your favorite meal, or your plans for the weekend. Talk about it out loud for 1 full minute without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes or grammar. Just keep speaking. The goal is to build flow and confidence. Let's try one together right now. Your topic is my favorite time of day. Think for 2 seconds. Now start speaking. My favorite time of day is the evening because it's quiet and I can relax. I usually make a cup of tea, read something, or watch a short video. It's the time when I can just be myself and recharge after work. Great! See how natural and smooth that sounds? You can do the same every day with new topics. Now, one final thing before we pause for the next lesson. Repetition is mastery. Listening to one good lesson 10 times is better than watching 10 different lessons once. Because with each repetition, your brain catches new sounds, new rhythm, and new meaning. Fluency is built through familiarity, not novelty. So don't rush your progress. English fluency is like watering a plant. Small, consistent care every day makes it grow beautifully. Keep repeating, keep shadowing, keep speaking, and little by little, English will start to feel like your second nature. Now, let's focus on something that really transforms your English at the B1, B2 level. Learning to think in complete ideas, not individual words. When you speak, you don't need to translate each word in your mind. Instead, picture the situation and let English flow naturally through it. For example, if you want to talk about meeting a friend, imagine the cafe, the laughter, the smell of coffee, and your English will come out more naturally because your brain is connected to the moment, not to grammar rules. Let's try a short visualization practice together. Close your eyes for a few seconds and imagine you're talking to a friend about your weekend. Feel the warmth of the sun, the noise of people around, and the comfort of your drink in your hand. Now start speaking softly. Last weekend was really nice. I met my friend at a small cafe near the park. We talked for hours about life, work, and travel. The weather was beautiful and it felt so relaxing. Did you feel how the words came more easily when you imagined it? That's the secret. Emotion unlocks expression. At this stage, your goal is to make your English personal. When you talk about your life, your emotions, and your thoughts, your sentences become more automatic and your vocabulary becomes real. For example, instead of just memorizing the word achievement, connect it to your story. Finishing my first English book felt like such an achievement. Or instead of just learning opportunity, say, this course gave me an opportunity to meet people from different countries. Every word you connect emotionally stays with you longer. Let's practice some daily life vocabulary in context. Listen carefully and repeat after me slowly. I've been working on improving my communication skills. I finally got the opportunity to travel abroad. Learning English has opened so many doors for me. It feels amazing to express myself clearly. I'm proud of how far I've come. When you repeat sentences that express feelings, your pronunciation and confidence both improve naturally. Now, let's talk about another important skill, paraphrasing. This means saying the same idea in different words. At the B2 level, this is one of the most powerful abilities you can develop. It helps you continue conversations even when you don't remember a specific word. For example, if you forget the word exhausted, you can say, I'm really tired. Or if you forget delicious, say, the food tastes really good. If you forget nervous, say, I don't feel very comfortable right now. Let's practice paraphrasing through short exercises. I'll say a word, and you try to express the same meaning in another way. Difficult. You can say, it's not easy. Angry. You can say, I'm upset. Excited. You can say, I can't wait for it. Expensive. You can say, it costs a lot. Excellent! You see how you don't need to stop when you forget a word? That's real fluency. Let's try this in short conversation form. Imagine someone says, how was the test? And you forgot the word challenging. You can say, it was quite hard, but I think I did okay. Or if someone says, how was your vacation? And you forgot amazing, you can say, it was really nice. I had a great time. The key is simple. Keep talking. Don't stop searching for the perfect word. Communication is about connection, not perfection. Now let's bring in some daily life dialogues for practice. Imagine you're at work or in class talking about your day. Listen first, then repeat naturally with pauses. I had a busy morning, but I managed to finish all my tasks. I was supposed to meet my friend, but she had to cancel. I've been studying English every evening for the past few months. I'm trying to get into the habit of reading before bed. Now, try to respond naturally to me. I'll ask you, what are you working on these days? You can say, I'm focusing on improving my English vocabulary and speaking confidence. Or, I've been working on my writing skills. I want to sound more professional in emails. Great! Your answer should always connect ideas together, naturally like this. Now, let's shift into a little storytelling practice, which is perfect for your B2 level growth. Storytelling trains your memory, sentence connection, and expression all at once. Let's create a short story together. Yesterday was a bit unusual for me. I woke up early, planning to go jogging, but it started raining heavily. So instead, I stayed inside, made some tea, and decided to organize my closet. I found some old photos from my school days, and they made me smile. It's funny how small things can bring back so many memories. Now, try telling your own version of that story aloud. Change the weather, change the activity, but keep the structure. Time, plan, change, reflection. That's how you practice fluency naturally through storytelling. Next, let's focus on emotional expression. This is what makes your speech sound alive. Don't just tell facts. Express how you felt. For example, instead of saying, I lost my keys, say, I lost my keys, and it was so frustrating. I spent an hour looking for them. Or instead of saying, I watched a movie, say, I watched a movie last night and it was so emotional, I almost cried. See how feelings make your sentences real and human? Now, let's do a small exercise together. I'll give you short facts and you add feelings to them in your version. Ready? I had breakfast. You could say, I had breakfast and it was delicious. I really needed that coffee. I went shopping. You could say, I went shopping, but the store was so crowded that I got tired quickly. I met a friend. You could say, I met a friend and we laughed so much that time flew by. Excellent! Keep practicing this way until emotion becomes natural in your English. Let's also explore some common phrasal verbs that you can start using daily because these are a huge part of natural English. For example, give up, look after, find out, get along, run out of, take care of, turn on, pick up. Let's practice them in context. I'll never give up on learning English. Can you look after my bag for a moment? I found out that she moved to another city. We get along really well at work. We ran out of milk, so I went to the store. I need to take care of this before the deadline. Please turn on the lights. I'll pick you up at the station. Now, you try forming your own sentences. I'll never give up on my dreams. I need to look after my younger brother today. I found out that my favorite cafe is closing. We ran out of time, but we'll continue tomorrow. Beautiful. This is the level of fluency where you start to think in phrasal verbs automatically. Let's take one more moment to breathe and reflect. Fluency isn't something that appears one day. It's built quietly through these small practices you're doing right now. Every sentence, every repetition, every shadowing moment is rewiring your brain to make English flow more easily. So, be patient with yourself. You're not just learning English words, you're shaping a new voice, a new rhythm, a new part of your identity that connects you with the world. Every minute you spend here is an investment in confidence and self-expression, and that's something truly beautiful. At this stage of your English journey, you've already learned how to describe, explain, and express. Now let's focus on interaction, responding, reacting, and keeping conversations alive. One of the most powerful habits to develop at the B1, B2 level is active listening. When someone speaks to you, don't just wait for your turn. Show interest through short, natural reactions. In English, we do this with small responses like, "Oh, really? That's interesting. I see what you mean. Exactly. No way." These little phrases keep the conversation flowing naturally, and they make you sound emotionally connected and confident. Let's practice some together. Imagine your friend says, "I just started a new job." You could reply, "Oh, really? That's great. How's it going so far?" Or they say, "I've been feeling tired lately." You can respond, "I see. Maybe you've been working too much." Simple, right? But these short responses add rhythm and warmth to your English. Try repeating after me slowly. "Oh, really? That's great. I see what you mean. Exactly. No way. That sounds amazing. That must have been hard." Feel how natural these phrases sound when you say them with emotion. Now, imagine you're in a longer conversation. A friend is telling you about their weekend trip. Instead of just listening silently, you can react naturally. "Wow, that sounds relaxing. I've always wanted to visit that place. That must have been such a nice break. Good for you." These emotional reactions make you sound more fluent and friendly because real conversation is about connection, not just words. Now, let's take this a step further with follow-up questions. This is what fluent speakers do automatically to keep conversations interesting. For example, if someone says, "I went to the mountains last weekend," you can ask, "Oh, nice. How was the weather?" Or, "Did you go hiking?" That's how you keep the dialogue flowing, naturally, confidently, and warmly. "How was the weather there?" Or, "Did you go hiking?" Or, "Who did you go with?" When you ask small, simple questions like these, you show curiosity and build a natural back and forth rhythm. That's what advanced fluency feels like. Let's do a quick practice round. I'll give you a line and you try to imagine a follow-up question. "I just watched a really good movie." Maybe you ask, "What movie was it?" Or, "What did you like about it?" "I bought a new phone." You could say, "Oh, really? Which one?" Or, "Do you like it so far?" I started going to the gym. You might say, that's great. How often do you go? Perfect. This is how you build conversation flow in real life. Now, let's talk about confidence vocabulary. Words and phrases that make you sound sure and comfortable when expressing opinions. Try using expressions like, in my opinion, I believe, personally, I think, from my point of view, and as far as I'm concerned. These help you sound polite, calm, and fluent when sharing your thoughts. Let's use them naturally. In my opinion, learning English through daily practice is the best way to improve. Personally, I think confidence comes from speaking often. From my point of view, mistakes are just signs of progress. As far as I'm concerned, everyone can become fluent if they stay consistent. Now, try creating your own. Think about something you care about, maybe travel, food, or study habits, and express it politely using one of these phrases. For example, personally, I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Or, in my opinion, traveling teaches you more than books ever could. Excellent! The more you use these kinds of expressions, the more naturally your ideas will flow. Let's also include some softening phrases, because fluent English isn't just about what you say, it's about how you say it. Instead of sounding too direct, native speakers often soften their tone with words like maybe, a bit, kind of, sort of, I guess, and I think. These make your speech sound friendly and polite. Let's compare. Instead of saying, you're wrong, you can say, I think you might be mistaken. Instead of, that's bad, you can say, that's a bit difficult. Instead of, I don't like it, try, I'm not really a fan of it. This is what we call natural politeness, a very important part of B2 level communication. Let's do a little repeat after me practice. I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe we could try something different. I guess that's one way to look at it. It's a bit complicated, but I'll try to explain. Perfect. Keep these phrases in your daily speech. They make your English sound warm, balanced, and natural. Now, let's step into real-world conversation scenes to apply everything you've learned so far. Imagine you're in a meeting or a group discussion. You can start by saying, I'd like to share my opinion on that. Or, that's an interesting point. I see it a little differently. Or, could you explain that again? Notice how polite and confident these sound. They help you participate without fear or hesitation. Let's imagine another scene. You're talking to a friend who's sharing good news. You can say, wow, congratulations. Or, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. Or, you deserve it. Or maybe someone is telling you about a problem. You could say, I understand how you feel. Or, that sounds tough, but I'm sure you'll be fine. These are natural emotional responses that help you sound both fluent and kind. Now, let's focus on intonation practice, the music of English. Try repeating this slowly with me. Really? I can't believe it. That's amazing. Are you serious? This up and down melody is what makes your speech sound natural. Flat speech sounds robotic, but melody gives life to your words. Now, take a minute to reflect. When you speak English, are you listening to your tone? Do you sound flat, or do you use emotion? Remember, people remember your tone more than your words. If you sound warm and confident, your English will always leave a good impression. Let's do a full conversation simulation now. Imagine you're meeting a new colleague. You say, Hi, it's nice to meet you. How's your day going? They reply, Pretty good, thanks. I just finished a big report. You can respond, Oh, really? That must feel like such a relief. Then they say, "Yes, I've been working on it all week." You reply, "I can imagine. It must have taken a lot of focus." See how each line feels smooth and balanced? You're using rhythm, emotion, and natural connection. The perfect fluency combination. And always remember, fluency is not perfection. It's communication with confidence. Even native speakers make small mistakes all the time, but they keep going. So the next time you feel nervous about your English, take a deep breath, smile, and remind yourself, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be clear, calm, and connected. Every single day that you listen, repeat, and speak along, your brain is building stronger English pathways. It may feel slow now, but progress is happening inside you every moment you practice. You're already communicating more smoothly than before, and your next level is only a matter of consistency. Now, let's take your fluency to a more natural level by practicing how to handle real-life conversations with flow. Think of your daily interactions at a cafe, at work, on a call, or while meeting someone new. The goal isn't to sound perfect, it's to sound real. When you speak naturally, you connect ideas smoothly and express emotions comfortably, just like a native speaker would. Let's start with a simple conversation example. Imagine you're ordering coffee. You don't need to use long sentences. Short, polite phrases are perfect. You can say, "Hi, can I get a cappuccino, please?" Or, "I'd like a black coffee with no sugar." When they ask, "For here or to go?" you can reply, "For here, please." Then you can add, "Oh, and could I get it with almond milk?" These are small but powerful habits. They show politeness, confidence, and fluency. Now, let's move to a different situation, talking to a colleague or classmate. You might start with small talk, like, "How's everything going today?" Or, "Busy day, huh?" These little lines open the door to conversation naturally. If they reply, "Yeah, it's been a long morning," you can say, "I know what you mean. I didn't sleep well last night either." That's how English conversation feels alive, a back and forth rhythm, not one-sided answers. Let's practice another scenario, giving your opinion during a discussion. If someone asks, "What do you think about working from home?" you can say, "Personally, I think it's convenient, but sometimes it's hard to stay focused." Or, "In my opinion, it depends on the person. Some people love it, some prefer the office." These balanced, natural responses show maturity in your English thinking. Now, one of the biggest fluency skills is rephrasing your thoughts when you get stuck. You don't need to pause for too long or freeze when you forget a word. For example, if you forget the word schedule, you can say, "My daily plan," or "the things I have to do today." If you forget destination, say, "the place I'm going to." Communication always has another path. You just need to stay calm and keep moving forward. Let's practice together. Imagine you want to say, "I need to reschedule our meeting," but you forget the word reschedule. You can say, "I think we need to change the time of our meeting." Perfect! It sounds natural and fluent. Or you want to say, "The movie was hilarious," but you forget hilarious. You can say, "The movie was really funny. I laughed a lot." That's how you keep fluency going even without perfect vocabulary. Another beautiful skill at the B2 level is using idiomatic expressions, small, colorful phrases that make your speech sound more natural. Let's go through a few common ones you can use every day. Once in a while means sometimes, like, "I go to the gym once in a while." Call it a day means to stop working, like, "It's late, let's call it a day." In no time means very soon, like, "You'll be fluent in no time." On the same page means to agree, like, we're finally on the same page about the project. Let's practice these together in context. Repeat slowly after me. I like to take a break once in a while. We worked hard, so let's call it a day. Keep practicing and you'll improve in no time. I'm glad we're on the same page now. Beautiful! Using idioms naturally adds a friendly and advanced tone to your English. Now let's do a small story practice using idioms and natural connectors together. Listen carefully and repeat after me. Yesterday, I was so busy with work that I barely had time to eat. By evening, I was exhausted, so I decided to call it a day. I ordered some food, watched a movie, and just relaxed. Sometimes you need to slow down once in a while. Do you feel how that sounds natural and rhythmic? That's what we're building here. Flow through connection. Now, let's talk about emotional control while speaking English. Many learners feel nervous when they have to talk to native speakers or strangers. But here's the truth. Fluency grows fastest when you speak through small mistakes, not around them. Every time you make a mistake and correct it, your confidence grows stronger. So instead of saying, "Sorry, my English is bad," you can say, "I'm still learning. Thanks for your patience." That single sentence changes how people see you, confident and positive instead of unsure. Let's practice confidence phrases you can use anywhere. Repeat softly after me. I'm still learning, but I enjoy speaking English. Let me say that again. I want to explain it more clearly. I might make mistakes, but I'm trying my best. Thanks for correcting me. That really helps. These simple lines are powerful tools for emotional fluency. They show courage and self-awareness. Now, one key part of reaching the B2 level is understanding tone and context. English changes depending on where you are. Formal in meetings, casual with friends, polite with strangers. You don't need to memorize separate versions. Just adjust your tone slightly. For example, with friends, you might say, "Hey, what's up?" But in a meeting, you'd say, "Good morning. How are you today?" It's the same idea, just a different energy. Let's practice switching tone. Say it casually. "Hey, can you help me with this?" Now more formally. "Could you please help me with this?" Casually, "I'm going to grab lunch." Formally, "I'm going to have lunch." See how small changes in tone create a big difference. That's how you sound natural in any environment. Now, let's talk about building your vocabulary through daily habits. Reading a short paragraph in English every day, maybe from an article, a story, or even subtitles, helps you learn new words in context. But here's the secret. Don't just read. Speak what you read. For example, after reading a sentence like, "She enjoys spending time outdoors," repeat it aloud and then change it to your own version. "I enjoy spending time outdoors too." Or, "My brother enjoys playing outside." That's how new words stick, through use, not memory. Let's practice that idea now. Listen and repeat, then make your own version. He decided to start exercising regularly. Your version could be, "I decided to start reading regularly." Next, "They moved to a new apartment last month." Your version, "I moved to a new apartment last year." She finally finished her project. Your version, "I finally finished my assignment." Excellent. This daily speaking habit turns passive vocabulary into active fluency. Now, take a moment to appreciate how far you've come. You can describe your life, share opinions, react naturally, use phrasal verbs, and manage real conversations. That's real progress. That's B2 level communication growing inside you. But remember, fluency is not a destination. It's a continuous journey. Every day you speak, you're refining your voice, your rhythm, and your expression. So, as you move forward, don't rush to perfection. Focus on connection. Speak every day to yourself, to your friends, or even to your mirror. Listen, repeat, and keep exploring new words through real experiences. Your English is not just improving, it's evolving with you. Now, let's go even deeper into the art of natural speaking, where confidence, rhythm, and connection come together. At this point in your journey, you already have enough vocabulary to express most ideas. But the goal now is to make your English flow effortlessly, just like water running smoothly without stopping. To do that, you need to let go of the pressure to sound perfect and focus instead on communicating naturally. Imagine you're having a friendly chat with someone, not an exam, not an interview, just a relaxed conversation. When you speak, think less about grammar and more about the idea you want to share. Even if your sentence isn't grammatically perfect, if your listener understands you, then communication has succeeded. That's what fluency really means. Let's practice that mindset. I'll say a few short sentences and you'll repeat after me. Don't think, just speak. I'm doing my best every day. It's okay to make mistakes. I'm learning slowly, but I'm improving. Every word I say brings me closer to fluency. Feel the calm energy behind each line. That's the rhythm of progress. Now, one of the strongest ways to move from B1 to B2 fluency is by using natural transitions in your speech. These are small words that connect ideas smoothly, like actually, besides, as a matter of fact, on the other hand, at the same time, after all, and you know. These words help your conversation sound like a real flow of thoughts instead of broken sentences. Let's use them in real-life examples. Actually, I've been thinking about starting a new hobby. Besides, it's never too late to learn something new. As a matter of fact, I've always wanted to learn guitar. On the other hand, it takes time and practice. At the same time, it's something I'd really enjoy. After all, we should do things that make us happy. When you connect your thoughts like this, your English becomes smoother and more expressive. Let's try a short storytelling exercise using these transitions. Repeat after me slowly. Last week, I started reading a new book. Actually, I didn't plan to read it, but a friend recommended it. At first, I thought it would be boring, but as a matter of fact, it turned out to be really inspiring. Besides, it helped me practice new English words in context. After all, reading is one of the best ways to improve vocabulary naturally. Beautiful storytelling with connection creates natural fluency. Now, let's talk about another powerful area: reaction and tone control. Native speakers use tone to show emotions like surprise, excitement, or empathy. Let's practice emotional intonation. Repeat after me with feeling. Really? That's amazing! Oh no, that's terrible. I'm so happy for you. I can't believe it. Each tone adds meaning that words alone cannot. Now imagine real life. Your friend says, I just got a new job. You respond, wow, that's amazing, congratulations. Or they say, I failed my test. You say softly, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Don't worry, you'll do better next time. These natural reactions make your communication real and human. That's emotional fluency, the secret ingredient of advanced speakers. Let's practice story expansion again, because at the B2 level, adding details is what makes your speech sound natural and confident. Listen carefully and repeat. I met an old friend yesterday. We hadn't seen each other in years, so it was really nice to catch up. We went for a walk, grabbed some coffee, and talked about our memories. It felt like time hadn't passed at all. See how simple details create rhythm, story, and emotion? That's exactly how fluent English sounds. Now let's add some new vocabulary to make your speech more precise. These are useful daily life adjectives and expressions that B2 speakers use easily. Repeat after me slowly. I was completely exhausted after work. The view from the mountain was breathtaking. The food was absolutely delicious. The movie was surprisingly emotional. The city was crowded but full of life. The music was so relaxing that I almost fell asleep. Now, let's use these adjectives in a short story to make them feel real. Last weekend, I went on a short trip with my friends. The weather was perfect, sunny and calm. The food we had was absolutely delicious, especially the local dishes. We visited a hilltop, and the view from there was breathtaking. By the end of the day, I was completely exhausted, but also incredibly happy. Feel how rich and natural that sounds? You're expressing both action and emotion. That's B2 fluency in action. Let's take a small break and reflect. When you practice like this, repeating sentences, feeling emotion, connecting ideas, you're not just learning English. You're training your brain to live in English. Over time, your inner voice starts thinking in English too. Not in translation, but directly in meaning. That's when fluency becomes your natural state. Now, let's practice expressing opinions and feelings together, because advanced fluency means you can express what you think and how you feel about it. For example, I think learning a new language is challenging, but it's also one of the most rewarding experiences. I feel happy when I understand a conversation without subtitles. I believe practice is more important than perfection. I'm proud of myself for not giving up. Try repeating those slowly after me and let each line sink in emotionally. I think learning a new language is challenging, but it's rewarding. I feel happy when I understand native speakers easily. I believe practice matters more than perfection. I'm proud of myself for improving little by little. Perfect. Now you're not just speaking English, you're expressing your authentic self in English. Let's add a final listening style challenge for this part. Listen carefully to this short monologue and try to notice how ideas connect. Lately, I've been trying to wake up earlier to have a calm morning routine. At first, it was hard because I love sleeping in, but after a few days, it started to feel amazing. I use the extra time to read, stretch, and drink coffee slowly. It helps me start the day in a peaceful mood. I think small habits like this really change your life. Now, shadow that story. Speak it slowly, with rhythm, emotion, and a calm tone. This kind of shadowing helps you combine all your skills: listening, pronunciation, rhythm, and memory. You're doing amazing step by step. Your English is becoming smoother, more emotional, and more live. Every new sentence you repeat is another layer of confidence. Keep listening, keep feeling, keep speaking. Because fluency isn't something you reach, it's something you grow into through consistent connection and practice. Let's continue building your confidence in fluency by focusing on something that many learners overlook: the mindset of a fluent speaker. At the B1, B2 level, your goal is not just to understand English, but to feel comfortable living in it. That means expressing yourself freely, reacting naturally, and staying calm even when you don't know every word. A fluent speaker is not someone who never hesitates. It's someone who keeps the conversation going smoothly despite small pauses. Imagine this. You're in a conversation and suddenly forget a word. Instead of freezing or panicking, you can say, "What's the word?" It's like, or, "I don't remember the exact word, but it means." This keeps the flow alive and shows confidence. Native speakers do this all the time. They don't worry about mistakes. They focus on communication. So the next time you're speaking English, don't stop because of a missing word. Describe it, paraphrase it, or just keep going. That's fluency. Let's practice how to handle those moments naturally. Repeat softly after me. I don't know how to say this exactly, but it's kind of like, what I mean is, let me think for a second. You know, it's similar to beautiful. These small expressions are your safety net in conversation. They give you time to think without breaking the flow. Now, let's practice conversation flow again through short, real-life examples. Imagine someone says, "What did you do over the weekend?" You could answer, "Oh, not much. I stayed home and relaxed." Or, "I met up with some friends. We had dinner and talked for hours." If they say, "Did you have fun?" you can say, "Yeah, it was great. We laughed a lot." See how simple, natural, and full of life those answers sound? That's exactly what fluency feels like: effortless connection. Now, let's go a bit deeper with storytelling through emotion. Imagine you're describing a day that didn't go as planned. You could say, "My morning was a disaster. I woke up late, missed the bus, and spilled coffee on my shirt. But honestly, by the afternoon, I was laughing about it." Sometimes days like that remind me not to take things too seriously. See how that story feels honest, emotional, and real? That's authentic English, simple but full of feeling. Now repeat after me, slowly, focusing on rhythm and natural pauses. My morning was a disaster. I woke up late, missed the bus, and spilled coffee on my shirt. But by the afternoon, I was laughing about it. Sometimes days like that remind me not to take things too seriously. That's how your English becomes more expressive and human, not just correct, but alive. Let's move to another essential skill: expressing agreement and disagreement politely. Native speakers rarely just say yes or no. They often use softer phrases to sound more natural and friendly. For example, instead of just saying "I agree," you can say, "Yeah, I totally agree with you." Or, "That's true, I feel the same way." Instead of saying "I disagree," say, I'm not sure I see it that way. Or, that's an interesting point, but I think these small differences make your English sound confident and respectful. Let's practice these lines naturally. I completely agree with you. That's a good point. I think you're right about that. I see what you mean, but I have a different opinion. That's an interesting perspective. I'm not sure I would say it exactly like that. Excellent. These are daily conversation tools you can use in work meetings, casual talks, or study discussions. Now, let's talk about expressing emotions more deeply, another key part of B2 fluency. Instead of saying, I'm happy, say, I'm really glad about that, or that made my day. Instead of saying, I'm sad, say, I felt a bit down, or it broke my heart. Instead of saying, I'm angry, say, that really upset me, or I was so frustrated. Emotions in English are often expressed softly. This makes you sound natural and emotionally intelligent. Let's practice together. I'm really glad you liked it. It made me so happy. I felt a bit disappointed. I was really frustrated. It broke my heart when I heard that. That made my day. Beautiful. Now you're expressing emotion, not just information. Let's build a short daily conversation using these expressions. Hey, how was your day? It was great. I finished my project and my boss was really happy with it. That's awesome. Congratulations. Thanks. It really made my day. Or another one. You look a bit tired. Are you okay? Yeah, just a bit stressed. I've been working non-stop lately. I get it. Make sure you rest. That's how natural, connected English sounds. Soft, emotional, and supportive. Now, let's practice describing your experiences in more detail. Imagine someone asks, have you ever traveled abroad? Instead of just saying, yes, I have, try this. Yes, I went to Italy last year. It was beautiful. The food, the people, everything. I loved walking through the small streets and trying local dishes. That's how you add color and depth to your answers. Let's try another example. What do you like about learning English? You could say, I love learning English because it connects me with people around the world. It makes me feel confident when I can express my ideas clearly. Or, it helps me understand songs and movies better, and that's really fun. These are real human answers that show your passion and personality. Let's take a small pause and practice slow, emotional speech again, the kind that feels natural, not forced. Repeat softly after me. I'm learning to express myself in English with confidence. I'm proud of how much I've improved. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be clear. I enjoy every moment I spend learning. Step by step, I'm becoming fluent. Each sentence is simple, but each one builds your emotional connection with English. Now, let's explore advanced daily expressions that native speakers often use in casual speech. For example, take your time, meaning don't hurry. Hang on, meaning wait a moment. Go ahead, meaning you can start. No worries, meaning It's okay. Fair enough, meaning I understand. I get you, meaning I understand your point. These are small, but they make your English sound truly alive. Let's practice them naturally in short exchanges. Hey, sorry I'm late. No worries. Take your time. Can I start now? Yeah, go ahead. I think it's not easy. Yeah, fair enough. I don't like waiting in long lines. I get you. Me neither. See how conversational that sounds? That's the magic of small, natural phrases. They make your speech smoother and friendlier. Now, before we close this part, let's do one last guided reflection together. Think back to how you spoke English 1 year ago and compare it with how you're speaking now. Do you see how your sentences are longer? How your ideas connect better? How your tone sounds more relaxed? That's real growth. The kind that comes not from memorizing rules, but from living the language. Every single time you repeat, shadow, and practice, you're building a stronger English identity. You're no longer just learning about English, you're learning in English through emotions, stories, and connection. Keep going. You're already on the path to complete fluency. Now that you're feeling more comfortable expressing yourself in English, let's take everything we've learned so far and apply it to longer, natural communication. The next step in your journey is to build conversational endurance, the ability to keep a conversation flowing for several minutes without hesitation or mental translation. At this stage, your English is strong enough to describe, react, and express. Now, we'll learn how to maintain rhythm, emotion, and connection. Let's start with a simple daily life scenario. Imagine you're meeting a friend after a long time. You can begin by saying, "Hey, it's been ages. How have you been?" They might reply, "I've been good, just busy with work." You could continue, "Yeah, same here. Life's been hectic, but I'm trying to find balance." Then they ask, "So, what's new with you?" And you answer, "I've started focusing more on my English practice. It's really helping me feel confident." That's how a normal, natural English conversation unfolds. No stress, no perfection, just connection. Let's shadow this conversation slowly. "Hey, it's been ages. How have you been?" "I've been good, just busy with work." "Yeah, same here. Life's been hectic, but I'm trying to find balance." "So, what's new with you?" "I've started focusing more on my English practice. It's really helping me feel confident." Perfect. You're practicing flow, timing, and emotion all together. Now, let's build on your ability to express opinions and reasons more clearly, a skill that takes you deeper into the B2 zone. For example, instead of saying, "I like learning English," say, "I like learning English because it helps me connect with people from different countries." Or, "I enjoy learning English because I love understanding movies and songs without subtitles." When you explain why, your answers sound mature, confident, and fluent. Let's try a small exercise. I'll start a sentence and you complete it with your reason. I enjoy traveling because, maybe you say, it opens my mind to new cultures. I like reading because it helps me relax and learn new ideas. I'm studying English because I want to use it at work and make international friends. Perfect. That's exactly how fluent communication works. Now, let's focus on linking time and sequence in your storytelling. Words like first, then, after that, finally, a few days later, and in the end, these small connectors help you tell stories clearly and smoothly. Let's use them in an example. First, I woke up early and went for a walk. Then, I had breakfast and started working on my project. After that, I took a short break and watched a video. Finally, I cooked dinner and relaxed with the movie. See how natural that rhythm feels? That's fluent storytelling. Let's practice together. Repeat slowly after me. First, I had a long day at work. Then I came home and cooked dinner. After that, I watched my favorite show. Finally, I went to bed early because I was exhausted. Excellent. This is how your speaking becomes organized and easy to follow. Now let's explore real-life reaction phrases, the kind of expressions people use naturally in conversation. These small lines make your speech sound more genuine. For example, "That's so true." "I totally understand." "I didn't expect that." "Good for you." "That happens to me all the time." "Tell me more about it." "That sounds fun." "Really? What happened next?" These are powerful conversation builders. Let's try them in context. Your friend says, "I started going to the gym." You say, "That's great. Good for you." They say, "But it's been really hard to stay consistent." You say, "I totally understand. Staying motivated isn't easy." They say, "I missed a few days, but I'm getting back on track." You say, "That happens to me all the time. You're doing great." See how supportive and fluent that sounds? That's how English becomes a tool for connection. Now, let's move into story rhythm and pronunciation practice. At the B2 level, your goal isn't just to say words, it's to make them sound alive. Focus on rhythm, emphasis, and emotion. Try repeating this short story with me slowly. It was one of those mornings when nothing went right. I overslept, spilled coffee on my shirt, and missed the bus. But somehow, I stayed calm. I told myself, it's okay. It's just a bad start, not a bad day. And by the afternoon, everything was fine again. Feel how natural and peaceful that sounds. That's the flow you should aim for: calm, confident, and rhythmic. Now, let's practice spoken transitions between ideas. These are small, natural words that help your thoughts flow. Repeat slowly after me. You know what I mean? Actually, that reminds me of something. By the way, speaking of that, at the same time, on top of that, in other words, to be honest, perfect. These are the invisible threads that connect your English smoothly. I've been learning English for a few years now. To be honest, it wasn't easy at first, but you know what I mean. Once you start seeing progress, it becomes exciting. Actually, that reminds me of when I first understood a whole movie without subtitles. It felt so rewarding. When you speak like this, your English feels real, emotional, and connected, exactly what you want at this level. Let's now practice another daily life topic, talking about habits. Habits are great for conversation practice because they're easy to describe and help you connect with others. Try saying, "I usually go for a walk after dinner." "I'm trying to read a few pages before bed." "I've been watching English videos every morning." "I'm trying to eat healthier these days." Simple sentences like these help you sound fluent in everyday conversations. Now, try answering this question naturally. What's a habit you've recently started? You might say, I've started journaling every morning. It helps me stay focused. Or, I've started listening to English podcasts on my way to work. These answers sound personal, real, and conversational, exactly what you need for advanced fluency. Let's take a moment to focus on intonation practice, how your voice moves up and down in natural speech. Repeat softly and slowly after me. It's such a beautiful day, isn't it? I didn't expect that to happen. I can't wait to see you again. It's not that bad, actually. I really enjoyed talking to you. See? Your tone adds emotion to every word. Practice reading out loud with emotion. It trains your mouth, your ears, and your confidence at the same time. Before we close this part, let's do a quick confidence reminder. Fluency doesn't mean speaking without mistakes. It means expressing yourself clearly and naturally, no matter the situation. Even if your grammar isn't perfect, your confidence, your tone, and your kindness are what people notice most. When you speak from the heart, people listen. So as you move forward, remember this. Don't chase perfection. Chase connection. Each word you speak is a bridge between you and the world. You're no longer a learner trying to survive in English. You're a communicator, expressing your thoughts, your emotions, and your identity. That's the real meaning of fluency. Now that you've learned to stay calm and connected while speaking, let's explore another layer of fluency, expressing personality through English. At this level, English stops feeling like a subject you study and starts becoming part of who you are. You begin to use it to express humor, curiosity, kindness, and individuality. Every sentence you speak starts to sound like you. Imagine meeting someone new. Instead of just introducing yourself with short, formal lines, you can open up a bit more. For example, instead of saying, "My name is Julia, I'm from England," try, "Hi, I'm Julia. I'm from England, and I absolutely love learning about new cultures and languages." Do you hear the difference? One sounds basic, the other feels real and alive. Let's practice expressing personality naturally. Repeat softly after me. I love meeting new people and learning from their experiences. I'm passionate about personal growth and communication. I'm someone who enjoys quiet mornings with coffee. I really value kindness and honesty. I try to see something positive every day. Simple, but full of personality. That's how you sound confident and authentic. One of the best ways to strengthen your connection with English is through self-talk. This means speaking to yourself in English, not just in your head, but out loud. You can describe what you're doing, what you're thinking, or how you feel. For example, while cooking, you might say, "Okay, now I'm cutting the vegetables." Or before bed, "Today went well. I woke up early, had a good breakfast, and got a lot done. I felt a bit tired in the afternoon, but I managed to finish everything. Now I just want to relax and have a quiet evening." Perfect. This is exactly how you train your brain to think and feel in English. Now let's work on expressing opinions and emotions more deeply. This helps you sound mature and fluent. For example, instead of saying, "I like helping people," try, "I feel happy when I can help someone. It gives me a sense of purpose." Or instead of, "I like traveling," say, "Traveling makes me feel alive. It opens my mind to new ways of thinking. These emotional connections make your speech sound natural and meaningful. Repeat softly after me. I feel happy when I can help someone. Learning something new gives me confidence. I feel calm when I spend time in nature. Talking to people from other countries inspires me. Improving my English makes me feel proud. Feel that warmth and emotion in each line. That's authentic fluency. Next, let's talk about flow and pacing. Fluency doesn't mean speaking fast. It means speaking with rhythm and control. Speak too fast and you lose clarity. Speak too slow and you lose energy. The secret is balance. Speak like you're telling a story to someone who truly wants to listen. Pause naturally. Breathe. Smile. Let your voice guide your words. Repeat softly with slow, clear rhythm. I used to speak too fast, but now I take my time. I breathe, I pause, and I enjoy expressing myself. Fluency feels natural when I don't rush. The slower I speak, the clearer I sound. I'm learning to enjoy every word. Excellent. This calm rhythm builds confidence and control. Now, let's practice some practical daily topics you can use anywhere, like talking about your goals. You can say, "My goal this year is to speak English more confidently. I want to improve my pronunciation and learn new expressions. I'm planning to take an English test in a few months. I'm focusing on speaking more and worrying less about grammar." Let's do a quick guided speaking exercise. I'll ask and you respond aloud. What's your goal with English? Maybe you say, "I want to become fluent enough to use English at work." What do you enjoy about learning English? You could say, "I love how it connects me with people around the world." What do you find most difficult? You might say, "Sometimes I forget words, but I'm learning to stay calm and keep speaking." Great. This kind of self-expression practice makes your English sound real and relaxed. Now, let's practice everyday reflection, describing what you learned, what you felt, and what you plan to do next. For example, today I learned some new expressions. I felt more confident speaking out loud. Tomorrow, I'll try to use them in conversation. Or, this week, I focused on pronunciation. It was challenging, but I noticed some progress. Daily reflection turns practice into growth. Repeat softly. Every day, I'm getting better at expressing myself. Even small progress matters. I'm learning from my mistakes, not afraid of them. Each lesson brings me closer to fluency. I'm proud of my effort and my progress. Feel the motivation and pride behind these lines. That's what keeps you moving forward. Let's also explore how to end conversations naturally, something advanced learners often forget. Instead of just saying bye, you can say, "It was really nice talking to you. I enjoyed our conversation. Let's talk again soon. Have a great day. Take care of yourself." These small phrases make you sound polite, warm, and fluent. Repeat slowly. It was great talking to you. I really enjoyed this chat. Hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Take care and stay safe. Perfect. Small details like these leave a lasting impression and make your English sound natural from start to finish. Before we move further, take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. You've practiced rhythm, emotion, connection, and confidence. You've built the tools to describe, react, and express naturally in real-life English. Most importantly, you've started to feel comfortable being yourself in English. And that's the true mark of a B2 level speaker. From here, your job is simple. Keep practicing with presence. Speak every day, even for a few minutes. Record your voice. Listen to yourself. Shadow natural dialogues and reflect on what you feel proud of. Fluency grows quietly, day by day, and you're already on the right path. As we come toward the end of this masterclass, take a deep breath and recognize the progress you've made. You've practiced real conversation rhythm, emotional tone, self-expression, and vocabulary growth. You've learned how to stay calm while speaking, connect ideas smoothly, and sound confident, even when you don't know every single word. This is what fluency truly means, not perfection, but comfort in communication. Now, let's use everything together in a final reflection exercise. Imagine you're having a calm conversation with yourself in English. At the end of a long but productive day, you sit down with a cup of tea, smile softly, and think out loud. Today, I spoke more confidently. I tried to express my ideas clearly. And even though I made a few small mistakes, I kept going. I listened carefully. I reacted naturally. And I felt proud of myself. I know I'm not perfect, but I can feel the progress. I'm growing every single day. Let those words sit with you. That inner dialogue is your proof. Your English isn't something outside of you anymore. It's part of who you are. When you speak, you're not translating anymore. You're feeling, thinking, and connecting directly in English. That's the moment every learner dreams of, and you're already stepping into it. Now, let's strengthen that connection through visualization. Close your eyes and imagine yourself speaking English easily, maybe at work, while traveling, or chatting with someone new. You're smiling, speaking naturally, listening carefully, and enjoying the flow of the conversation. You're not worried about grammar or mistakes. You're simply communicating, and it feels effortless. Hold that image. That's your future, waiting just ahead. Let's say a few affirmations together, slowly, as a promise to yourself. I am confident when I speak English. I express myself clearly and calmly. I learn from my mistakes and keep growing. I enjoy every chance to use English in real life. Fluency is not far away. It's already growing inside me. Feel the peace and pride in those lines. That's your fluency mindset taking root. Now, let's return to practical fluency for a moment, because language lives through use. From now on, whenever you listen to a conversation, try repeating a few lines out loud. When you hear new words, don't rush to memorize them. Notice how they feel in real sentences. And when you speak, focus on connection more than correctness. English is a living, breathing language, and the more naturally you use it, the more it becomes your own. Let's practice one last natural speaking rhythm together. Repeat softly with emotion and calm flow. I'm learning to speak with confidence. I'm improving a little every day. I don't compare myself to others. I focus on my own growth. I'm grateful for every mistake because it teaches me something new. I'm proud of how far I've come. Each sentence I repeat becomes a piece of my story in English, a story of effort, patience, and self-belief. Now, imagine yourself 1 year from today. You've been practicing consistently, speaking a little every day, listening, shadowing, reflecting. You wake up one morning, talk to someone in English, and realize something beautiful. You didn't translate. You didn't hesitate. You just spoke naturally. That's the moment you'll know you've reached fluency, and you'll smile. Not because it happened suddenly, but because it grew quietly inside you, through lessons like this, small steps, and belief in yourself. Before we finish, remember one golden truth. Language learning is not talent. It's about consistency. Every few minutes you spend practicing English brings you closer to mastery. Speak even when you feel unsure. Listen even when you don't understand everything. Keep your heart open because confidence and curiosity are the true teachers of fluency. As we close this masterclass, take one last slow breath and let these words sink in. You are capable, you are improving, and you are already on your way to advanced English fluency. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep believing in your voice. English will not stay a foreign language forever. It will become part of your thoughts, your emotions, and your daily life. Thank you for spending this time learning and growing with me today. You've done something meaningful for yourself, something that will keep giving back every time you open your mouth to speak. Remember, progress doesn't always feel fast, but it's happening quietly inside you every single day. So, until next time, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep moving forward with confidence. You're not just learning English anymore.